Good morning, well, you wonderful Blue Jays fans. Craig Borden here with you on Jays latest, all things Blue Jays all the time. So we're going to talk some really cool ones that have come up in the last few hours here. It seems like, at least I don't remember hearing this rumor, but to that point, I can see why. So on that note, let's just talk the fact that apparently the Padres are listening to offers on Mason Miller. Mason Miller has been one of the most elite closers over the last 2 seasons, 50 saves in the last 2 years. Pick a metric, he is in the highest percentile, and he's just insanely good. There's a reason that the Padres traded for him at the trade deadline last year, hoping it would revitalize that bullpen that was letting them, lose. So, in the midst of that, the Blue Jays, obviously, if they're going to be trading and looking for a closer like they are, um, Miller is that one of those guys that automatically jumps to the top of that list because the fact is he has been so dominant, so elite. Yes, he had a little bit of a rough time once he went over to San Diego yesterday, but I don't think he was expecting to be traded. So it's probably a little earth shattering for the 27-year-old. So on that note, he still pitched in 61 innings last year with a 2.63 ERA with 22 saves. Season before that, prior, he had 28 saves for the Oakland A's in the last year in Oakland. And so 2 years in a row, he's had 20 something saves and he's been insanely good doing it for a really crummy team. And then finally getting a chance to do something well with the San Diego Padres. But that's 2 years of 50 saves total. Insanely good. Under a sub one whip. Throw the pile of prospects if you have a chance to get Mason Miller. I don't care what it takes. I really don't. Because here's the other part that nobody would talk about. Mason Miller is in his first year of arbitration right now, so he'd have 3 seasons of control for the Blue Jays to take advantage of his insanely talented slider and arm. Pairing with him and Jeff Hoffman and everybody in the bullpen is insane. I just can't even get over it. If you were able to trade Arjun Amala today to get Mason Miller, I think you have to take full advantage of that or whatever prospect it ends up taking to lock in Mason Miller. Because, like I said, you're locking in a closer or somebody capable of closing for 3 Major League Baseball seasons. You do it. So, on that note, Padres clearly shedding cash, trying to make sure that they revitalize this team and try to keep it moving in the right direction. So they would be looking for somebody like Arjun Amala back in a trade on this. We'll see what happens, but I do think the Blue Jays have to be on that one. That one just can't let an opportunity like that slip by. That ruins the Yankees. That ruins the Orioles. Everybody having somebody like him locked down, and that might be the difference in the world between beating the Dodgers at their own game or not. So on that, what else has been going on? Because apparently, according to all MLB insiders, as we were just talking about with Mason Miller, Blue Jays only got started with all this, is what the general feeling is after the winter meetings. They still are kicking the tires on every option you can humanly possibly think of, all the way from Munetaka Murakami, all the way to just pick Kyle Tucker on this team and get it done, along with obviously the re-signing, hopefully, of Bo Bichette to play shortstop for this team. There is insane things going on. The Blue Jays are at the top of this, and if they truly do have approval to sign both Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette, the two of them will push the Blue Jays up to the $300 million ballpark for this team, which is only second in Major League Baseball to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the beauty of that is the Blue Jays seem to be open to that, and they're ready to go punch for punch. And I think they've gotten a taste of what this country can do for this team as far as, backing it up, and which obviously comes with financial ramifications that help that ballpark. They're ready to push it all in, and I think they're ready to push this window right to the top. And doing these moves that we were just talking about, grabbing Mason Mill and or Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker, grabbing Murakami, gets you a whole new ballpark of wonderful fans too that are going to be big fans of him, the 25-year-old slugger in Japan as well. So it makes the Blue Jays even a worldly brand, not just the little goof that we had for the boxing match a few weeks ago. The pieces seem to be falling into place. So as you look through what is going on with this team and everything, the Blue Jays have a hell of a projected lineup, even as it's currently sitting. So the Blue Jays, obviously, this is assuming that Bo Bichette comes back, but let's just play with hypotheticals that maybe make that not so. You have Springer in the leadoff spot. You're gonna probably put, if you don't have Bo Bichette, somebody like Ernie Clement in that 2 hole just so he can get on base in front of Vlad. Hopefully Anthony Santander, Alejandro Kirk, Dalton Varsho, Addison Barger. And then, like I mentioned, you're going to have Andres Jimenez, and probably, if you don't have any other moves going on right now, you're going to have Davis Schneider probably somehow resurge back at second base. Um, there's a lot of things that could go right there because if you're assuming that Ernie Clement plays third base, Ernie Clement plays second instead, and Barger plays third, then okay, great. We got another outfield spot that's open for Miles Straw, Nathan Lucas to play right. All these things. There's a lot of. That's the beauty of the Blue Jays' current roster construction because it's exactly those interchangeable parts that we saw the whole season last year, and what was so critical to their success in the World Series in the postseason. So great stuff there. But then you go take a peek at what the Blue Jays have in their starting pitching and their bullpen. Right now, you're expecting Gausman, Cease, Bieber, Savage, and Ponce or Barrios going to be the main bulk workhorses for that 5-man rotation. But then you still have Eric Lauer and Bowden Francis. Then flip to the bullpen. Louis Varland, Mason Fluharty, Brandon Little, Tommy Nance, Tyler Rogers, the newly acquired. Yimi Garcia is going to be back. Chase Lee, also newly acquired. Spencer Mills, Angel Bastardo, Brandon Fisher, and Jeff Hoffman are your options currently in the Blue Jays Major League Baseball bullpen. It's really starting to deepen out. Throw a bullpen piece in there with Mason Miller. All those pieces just kind of fall into probably where they actually should be on the depth chart. And then there's this whole thing that we keep hearing that the Blue Jays are still looking for starting pitchings, and Brad Killer is one of those guys that they've been targeting. So there is a lot of really cool stuff, things going on, and a lot of amazing things to just be a Toronto Blue Jays fan to be heading into the holiday season and thankful for. So on that note, Blue Jays fans, in the comments, hit us up. Who do you think is the wonderful fun that is the wonderful fun here that is going to be the one that picks up who this free agent season here, or what are we going to trade for? What you got? Hit us up in the comments and we'll talk it out in the next couple of days. And we hope you have a great day. And as always, hit those like, share, subscribe buttons right here and on Jaybird Watching Podcast. We had Rance Mullenix on the show this past week, former Blue Jay legend. So check that out and we'll talk to you soon. And as always, go Blue Jays.